Hello and welcome back to another episode of Raman's podcast. I'm Dinesh Sagi, joined by Amar and Pang. Gents, how are we?
Hello.
Yeah, good man.
Good. How are you guys?
Oh, good. Nice Saturday afternoon, so can't really complain. Apart from my challenges with Wi-Fi, so here I am on my mobile, trying to make it count, just like RCB
That's
did in their last game. Finally, they managed to make it count at home by getting a monkey off the back, winning a game at home against the mighty RR. So absolutely right. Obviously, I'm quite happy for RCB. Obviously, this season they were really in contention. So, but the challenge they had is obviously not being able to win enough games at home. But here they are, finally putting up a good score, 200 plus, and then being able to defend. But before we look at RCB, right, one of the things I want to clarify from an RR standpoint, are they the new chokers when it comes to IPL? I mean, that's third game in a row where they've actually lost a game from a winning position.
Yeah, it feels like they are. That's why they, RR, they feel like, yeah, absolutely. They're choking a bit a lot, Uh, and I think so. They're getting with Hetmeyer like really at number five, like coming at six. I don't see him as a finisher of the game. You see, as a finisher, you have to understand when to, attack and when to take the game deep, right? And it is on Hetmeyer who's actually like most of the times they've choked because of where he's coming at. Right? They need to get a better person who can actually take and get this game over. Finishing is an art, right? And if you remember, like for a long, long time, you don't have great guys who can finish the game, like Pollard, for example, Dhoni, for example, right? And that's why these teams used to qualify and go to the finals a lot. They knew how to finish the game off, right? RR, let's take Punjab for example. Before this season they're doing comparatively well, but if you see, for a lot of years Punjab used to choke as well. uh, so and Delhi, yeah, Delhi as well, right? So I think so that it's in the mindset that when the target is very near, you can feel the nervous energy between the batsmen. They go for some really stupid shots. Uh, you know, so yeah, it has to. They have to finish few games. Then only that confidence will come back, or they will. You will see they will blotch up a lot of many games going forward. The confidence will literally go away, right? And the way here looks like everybody is in form. It's not like no one is form. Everybody is in form, right? They're scoring that runs and they're scoring really quick runs. It's just that they're not able to finish the game. So yeah, definitely I agree with you. Like you can call them the new chokers for this year at least.
Yeah, no, absolutely right. So sort of, finally, obviously, with Sanju Samson ruled out, obviously, Riyan Parag continued to lead the team. Jaiswal starting to hit some form, and then obviously the young kid, Vaibhav uh, Suryavanshi.
Suryavanshi.
Yeah, he's starting to obviously find his place as well in the starting lineup. But for me, biggest challenge is Punky pointed out, right? I think their finishers, obviously they've retained Dhruv Jurel, who's obviously had an exceptional IPL last season for RR, and then obviously Hitman is another one they managed to keep hold of, but both of them for some reason doesn't have the firepower and also probably the sensibility to when to attack and when to not, because a couple of games they lost. The one against Delhi, probably a few games ago, which ended up as a super over, and then this game against RCB, when they probably need 6 or 7 and over. For some reason, they decide to play a shot that's not required, and then the downfall.
Yeah. And I do agree with Punk's point here about Hetmeyer as well. He's not that kind of player who wins you matches. He comes in. He will make 10, 12 runs at times, 30 runs, but then he's not the guy who you see carry a team and then take to the finishing line. um, but with all the troubles that RR team are going through, and whether it be Yashasvi Jaiswal's move to Goa in the domestic circuit, whether it be captaincy issues, being captain being changed every couple of games initially. Now Rian Parag is there. Even Rian Parag had his own troubles when he was playing in Guwahati and all those things. So off the field news. Um, then there are some other news about why Rian Parag is captain. So all these things are happening around this RR team, and but even then we see that the players are making runs, and the bowlers are taking wickets. So it's almost like, these things are not impacting the players, but then in the end they are not winning. So and Jafar Archer, initially he was out of form, but he came back into form, and he bowled really really well. So individually, players are doing well, but um, probably not lower down the order, and that's why they are not ending up to win the matches. So that's why they are kind of lost their ways, even though they looked promising early on. In the middle, Jofra Archer came back, so they looked really really strong, but not so anymore. Hopefully, they will get back to form and then get back to winning ways.
Absolutely right, and obviously, definitely want to call out Rian Parag. Right, I don't personally think he's ready for the to captaincy, because you can clearly see, like, generally he's a very good fielder, but then he seemed to be dropping, like, easy catches in like mid off. But funny enough, right, I've seen something on socials. I don't know if this is before this game or it was something like that was old. So some uh, journalist asked him, like, which is that one team you like to play against, and he goes RCB. He's like, why? Because RCB has this sort of cult fan following. They make a lot of noise, when you're playing in Bangalore. So I would like to silence that crowd by obviously, scoring against them and winning games. I mean, if you make such statements, then make sure you back it up.
That's
To be honest, and one of the things the reason I'm calling this out is that game we wanted Rana to come in at number 3, which he did, and number 4 when he walked in,
Yeah.
he was scoring runs, and then he played out like irresponsible shot against Krunal Pandey. He didn't have to do that. That's what started the downfall of RR. You're the captain. Your openers gave you the sort of start you need, where in 10 overs you're over 100. All you have to do is just play the game, play 20 overs, and see where you end up. If need be, then try to counter. Not when you like need 7 and over, you play the strokes, and then
Yeah, and he is that kind of batsman as well, that has done exactly that. He can knock around, and he can rotate the strike, and with Dhruv Jurel he can bat. He had that kind of innings previously, so it's very, like you say, it's very surprising and irresponsible.
like the problem with him, he's a very egoistic player. So this is something with even with Kohli as well, right? That ego comes in, right? So when you like, oh, I cannot bat against a left arm bowler, right? Because the ball is going away, right? So they want to show that they can bat, right? But you need to understand where you are at what position, right? Nitish was on the other side, right? You just need to take a single and let Nitish, uh, you know. So this is where I'm telling you, not everybody becomes finisher of the game, right? You have to understand, what is the team situation. You're doing really well. You got a left arm bowler, you have a left-handed batsman on the other side. Just walk across. You see most of the players, right, who are doing well in this season, right? They are very clever. Even Klaasen, for example, right, you could see, when he knew, okay, this is not my, so not every bowlers you can attack, right? You have to understand which bowlers are, if you have ego in your mind, and the way you've told about Dinesh, right, in the very beginning, that shows the attitude problem as well, right? I can hit each and every bowler, right? It's not you. Nobody can do that, So you have to understand when and at what point. Even with the bowler who you can hit, you have to understand when I'm to strike him. You are doing really well. It was just after the power of the timeout. He came and first ball he tries to hit, and that is like really stupid of him. He could have just taken it and let Nitish do it, and Nitish would have really tonked Kunal, because he was doing really well. He was already set. But really, and that's where, and even the previous game as well. That's where they've got it right. They have to. If one of your guys are there, they are the guys who need to finish it, right? So one has to become an anchor, and the other guy goes on and on. And then if he goes out, then he goes on till the new guy comes in and sets up, right? That's where you continue. If you lose 2 wickets in one go, then and especially with a net run rate where you have to chase run rate of 10 plus, you're always behind the game, even if you're scored up front a lot, because still you need that 9 runs, 10 runs. And then what happens is 20, 30 balls, you need like 50 runs, right? It just one good over and then you're done. And new batsmen cannot come and hit you for sixes, right? Because the ball is also, people have to remember, and the viewers have to remember, right? The first 10 overs, the ball is hard. It comes on the bat really well, and once the ball gets old, it's that much more difficult to tong the ball, so this is, you have to understand, it's the power hitting in the next half of your game is much more difficult than hitting up front in the first 10, 15, first 12 overs. The last 7 to 8 overs is where you really need raw power to smack, or if the field is flat and the ball is like zipping in because of a dew or something, it's sliding in, or so you have to understand, if it is slight, the deck gets a bit what you call is like stops a bit, it's going to be that much more difficult to hit sixes. So stupid in terms of the way these guys just doing the chase up.
Approach.
It's like really frustrating. They were lucky actually. One way I wanted to start with this, it's in terms of summarizing the game, right? This was just a pass score on that ground.
Yeah.
RCB were like 10, 15 runs short.
Mm-hmm.
This, if they were 220, right, then definitely they would won. But this was a pass score, like 205 was, and this is where I'm talking about, like Kohli's, the way they're going at 150, 160, 170, right? If you consume that many balls, right, you will reach eventually to the 200 score. You will just reach pass score. If this was a Mumbai team, or like any other team, like even say LSG, for example, right?
Yeah.
And they would have finished this game.
Mm-hmm.
So RCB guys can be very happy of what has happened. It's just that these guys like RR don't have the finishing touch in them. This was a very easy game for them to take it.
Yeah.
Right. So we also have to scrutinize in terms of what RCB, why they're losing at home.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're just giving you pass scores, right? And like also they have a little bit of Bhuvi, and we have Hazelwood, right?
Yeah.
That is also like a bit of a help, but this was not a great score on that pitch. Okay, so I want to scrutinize on that part as well, right? So they have to, with Particle and with Kohli and even Phil Salt, he took 23 odd balls, right? That was if I look at Phil Salt, right, 23 balls, 26 runs on that pitch at 113 strike rate. That means you've taken like out of 120 balls, you've taken like uh, 23 balls, right?
Mm-hmm.
You 23 balls, at least you'd have 35 runs. You see, and if you had got that 35 runs, then that would have become a pass score, like above pass score, right? Winning score. That's what I'm trying to say. So you have to strike a minimum of, if somebody is 150, the other guy has to strike a 175 plus. So with Kohli and Particle, right, they still were slow, until unless Jitesh Sharma came and hit that, the 20 odd runs, or
Yeah.
this would have lost this game. In 4 balls, he hit 20 runs. He hit 4, like 10 balls, he hit the 20 runs. Or this was like RR would have easily won it. So, whatever Kohli has done and, Particle has done, but you have to scrutinize in terms of what the pitch was and what the this thing. This game, actually, it's not RCB won it, RR botched it up.
Absolutely right. And no
That
denying
is
that.
the conclusion from my side of this game,
But obviously, we also have to give credit to the little moments, right? Obviously, that particular innings from Padikkal, and most importantly, that death over bowling from Hazelwood. Hazelwood's been like the right
Absolutely.
light for RCB this season. Something they always struggle where the bowlers not performing when they score like 220, 230. But obviously, now they're able to defend 200. So yeah, maybe a quick word on Josh Hazelwood.
Yeah, Hazelwood has been lately producing these kind of spells, and he's a bowler who is effective early on and later on in the innings as well, towards the end. And 4 wickets again, and with an economy of 8.25. With that, when you're chasing 205, you face such kind of bowler. It's always difficult. It makes that chasing ever so difficult. And you combine that with Bhuneshwar Kumar, who is, of course, in this game he went with an economy of 12.50, but he's always very accurate, and he's for some reason very difficult to score off. And
Mhm.
more often than not, you will see his economy under 10 most of the time. So these two bowlers, yeah, I mean, like Punk mentioned, that they are the reason why RCB is doing well this time. The batting is still not up to the mark. They scored 205 here, but previously as well, they never kind of reached these kind of scores as well. And even if they reached this time, it didn't look like that it was above par score. So their batting is still in need of work. But of course, with these kind of bowlers, and Suyesh, Krunal also takes wickets. Suyesh is a good bowler as well. So
Mhm.
yeah, bowlers are doing really well for them, and it's good that they have won a match in at their home ground, because that was lacking.
Mhm.
And hopefully they can continue this, um, so that they will be a real contender. But they have never looked so good in terms of winning. And they can qualify. I wouldn't say that they will definitely, looking at their performances, but they are there and thereabouts. So yeah, at least this time.
Yeah. Also, want to obviously call out Krunal Pandya, right? You know, one of the things I've noticed with Krunal Pandya when he first played for MI, obviously with Hardik playing in the same team, a lot of credit used to go to Hardik Pandya, and Krunal was always under the radar. And then when he made the switch to LSG, because of Ravi Bishnoi being their lead leg spinner, again Krunal Pandya was sort of looked at as a part-time spinner who can probably give you like in those 2 or 3 overs. But when you look at this squad and this playing 11, he's been considered as their frontline spinner, and he's been delivering every time he's thrown the ball. He's always getting a wicket. Yeah, you can blame the batters for some of the rash shots they played, but it's equally important that Kunal's able to create that sort of doubt in the batsman's mind. So yeah, definitely want to spend a couple of minutes on Kunal Pandya and his contribution.
Yeah, like so, like he's a clever bowler, right? If you see, he like it's not like he just has one type of ball, right? He can do that fast bowling, bouncers, like so. He understands the game, and T20. If you have like this one rhythm type of bowler, right? I'll just bowl, and if the ball is gripping or something, I'll do one slower one. Those bowlers will get tonked a lot, right? With Kunal, at least he has that capability of, if he gets tonked for one or two sixes, right? At least he'll try to minimize uh that run in that particular over, right? He will try something different with every ball. If he thinks, okay, this wicket is not suiting my style of bowling or something, he will do something or the other to confuse the batsman. And and if you see more often, he will get you the wickets. So he's a very thinking bowler, right? And like some of the bouncers which he's doing at from that length, and it's really difficult to take those few steps and bounce that ball and get it above head height. The one or two balls had gone for wide as well, so you can imagine the amount of the power you need, your shoulders to get that bouncer from just like 3-4 steps. So
Hmm.
and like they've got a good matchup with especially in Bangalore, right? if you had a normal type of bowler, of a left-arm bowler, right, who in Bangalore more often you would see that guy going for sixes because the boundaries are short and all that, right? With Kunal, he can do the change up, slow ball, slide one in, put one Yorker in, all that. So it's a good catch in terms of what they've got in RCB. Just wanted to talk about one that wicket which Jurel went out, right? And like maybe in a few 5 minutes, we need to just discuss about that. I felt that umpire went a bit, early to give him out because the bat was touching the ground, right? And that wicket changed the game. It was like 12 balls, you need 18 runs,
Yeah.
and I had a feeling they should have looked into like if any other angles as well, because the bat was on the ground, right, and the ball was behind the bat, right. So the spike with the bat and the ball just behind, right. You have to make sure that you're 100% sure because the game is on the edge, and the umpire has not given you the batsman out, right. So they should take some extra care to ensure that uh, that they're 100% confidence that that was a definite out. I felt like especially Jewels, that wicket of Hazelwood, right. They should have scrutinized a bit more. They were in a bit of a hurry to get Jewel out,
I hope it's
especially
not.
when the ball is behind. So they should have just scrutinized this. And a few other games before, also we've seen some of the games, the nicking thing, with Mumbai Indians somewhere. They're in a hurry to get people out. The one wicket with Dhoni, for example, right? The other team was not given not out, and Dhoni went out, right? So there are some things which they have to make sure that you give the extra few seconds, right? The umpire should take few extra seconds so that there's no doubt in the viewers' mind that this that particular wickets can just change the game entirely.
Yeah.
So
No.
I have a feeling that Jurel wicket, that they could have scrutinized. I'm not saying it was not out or it was
Mhm.
out, but the way I've seen the pictures and all that, I have a benefit of doubt. I would have given it to the batsman because the umpire on field did not give it.
Was it a case? Maybe we haven't seen on the replays. Did Judel walk away,
No,
thinking
no,
he nicked it?
no. So the umpires do not give out anyways about the jokes around. But just to clarify on that point, it was Jitesh called for umpire's review. So
So my
yeah,
my follow up on this is the third umpire. Is it the same umpire who's on the pitch for the Mumbai game?
could be.
He
We need to
didn't.
find that
He
out.
didn't.
That
He
could be
didn't
an
know
interesting point.
which one to press, so he just pressed out. No, jokes apart. Yeah, no, that's a good point you made, Punkin. Absolutely right. These games can obviously turn the results, and obviously there's a lot at stake here. So umpire should take the extra few minutes. It's not like you get penalized for taking more time, or like the bowlers where they can't have like five fielders if you like going over. But yeah, crucial decisions. You're almost towards the end of the game, so another 2 3 minutes, 2 3 minutes. I don't think it's going to hamper anything for the umpire. But yeah, maybe
I
that's a
mean,
good point.
they're spending time to review wides, so why
Yes,
not this one?
absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yes, yeah, that's a good point you made.
If the umpire did not have any other frame, right, then he should have given the benefit of doubt to the batsman. But the problem is the umpire did not ask for any other angles. You see, so that's the problem with
Yeah.
this. And I don't know what's a number of time. I think so. I see IPL guys have talked about this, but they're getting it wrong over and over again.
I've just got some inside information from a producer saying IPL doesn't have the budget for more cameras because they spent a lot of money on their walking dog.
Champak.
Champak, Chipak, or whatever it's called. But yeah,
They've getting his Champak.
Champak.
Anyways,
That's
I
a
have a
budget.
question on that. Do they have 10 dogs or do they have just one dog and they take them around? They must have like five,
They'll
six
probably
dogs,
have
right?
one per what do
one
you
per
call
ground or something.
ground or something. Yeah.
So they're like Champak 1, Champak 2, Champak 3.
No, there's only one
It's a
Champak
breed.
Amal.
It's a breed of
Champ-
Champak is the breed, right?
Champak
And
is
then
the
you
breed.
can name the breed with different names.
Yeah.
Depends where they're playing. It could be like
I-
Champak Ambani with the last name, and then
I do have a conspiracy theory here. Um, did you see the options they gave? If you had seen the options they gave,
They get
Yes.
Champak
Google
was the
Pandey or
name.
something, right?
The
Yes.
Champak was the name. They would always select that was always win.
Yeah.
Buddy,
It's good name.
one of them was Buddy. I don't know why
What
Buddy
buddy?
would win.
Hmm.
Who will call
Yeah.
it buddy?
Yeah,
Anyways,
exactly.
come on.
Anyways,
But yeah,
but yeah, on
good
that
news for
note,
RCB to win their own home games.
yes, absolutely.
Congratulations. And then let's see. They
Let's
look
see
like
how
qualifying now.
things unfold. Yeah, they're looking really good for a qualification. So yeah, let's see how things unfold. But for RR, I don't think there's much from here. Obviously, they have another 5 games left, and they're a joint second in the bottom of the table alongside CSK. So I don't really see much changing for them. They'll probably be right around that bottom 2 or 3 by the time this
Can I ask
season
one
ends.
question
Hmm.
quickly?
Go on.
You now MI is doing really well,
Hmm.
and it looks like they might qualify.
Hmm.
Would you rather see MI qualify? Will you be more happy seeing MI qualify or RCB qualify?
If it's a question for me, RCB
Yeah.
any day.
I would like to see RCB qualify. And they need to at least have one cup, man.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. RC, I
I
would
mean,
be
it'll be
more
good
happy to
for
see them.
it will be good for Kohli to at least get a cup.
Yeah,
And some
exactly.
of our friends, Amar, at least,
Yeah,
they talk a lot.
there are
So at
friends. Yeah,
least, yeah, some of our friends, who talk a lot about RCB and all that, right? What of team and all that. At least they'll have something to talk about, when we show the cups for CSK and the number of this thing. At least it'll be 5-1 at least. Or
yeah,
still
yeah.
5-0 for 18 years.
That will be fitting reply to Rian Parag.
Yes,
Rian
So
Parag's comment, right?
absolutely.
right.
Yeah.
They'll silence him for good. But yes, on that note,
But he needs
hopefully,
to, just to tone that out. He needs to tone down his attitude,
yeah.
and like just 30
Or at
seconds,
least
right?
walk the
And
talk.
something,
Hmm.
yeah, walk the talk, and
Yeah,
something with, once that World Cup final which India won, right? If you remember when Kohli came back and he was talking to the Prime Minister, he mentioned something which is very important for all these batsmen. He was playing with his ego in the first few matches. In the final, he let down his ego. He took his time and he scored the 70 odd runs.
Yeah,
He got
that
the
was the
man of the
difference.
match.
Mhm.
That is the problem, with Abhishek Sharma, with Head. Leave your egos, look at the ball is swinging, give the 2 overs, 3 overs. Same thing with Parag and all these guys, right? If he's a matchup, that means there's a statistics behind why he's a matchup. You
Yeah.
understand? Don't go with the ego.
Mhm.
Just play it out. If you're not good against that spin bowler, just play him out. Let the other guys, because you also have a matchup in the team, who can strike that bowler. So, the ego has to go away. You will see a lot more runs scored by these guys. Right? They're talented guys. The ego is coming in the attitude. Too much of attitude.
Yep. If you want to be a Kohli, then you have to deliver like Kohli.
Absolutely.
Yeah, not everyone can
Definitely.
be a
See
Kohli,
what he
right?
has done with
That's why
his
the
100 odd after that.
RCB trophy doesn't really matter. Like what he does in the international circuit, that's what counts.
You'll get one cup, man. Don't worry.
We'll get more
At
than
least he'll
one.
reach the finals. We'll see that after that. Like,
This year it's happening.
yeah.
You all RCB supporters, if you need Punk's details, let me know. I'll share them.
I'm supporting all the teams who are doing well, But I have to scrutinize.
Punk did say that he would rather see RCB qualify. Just now he
Yeah.
said that.
Well, he said qualify, not win. There's a difference.
No, win.
Well,
You asked me.
stage,
At least they'll
stage.
get one cup, That's what I'm
One
saying.
cup.
From zero, at least they'll reach, zero is a big
Wow.
number, But you have to get one at least, to just move up the ladder.
As we close out, I can sense a Raidu on this podcast, so I think we need to move away from this. But thanks for the viewers and the subscribers. Hope you're enjoying all the insights that Punk's provided for RCB. And obviously, Dian Parag, hope to see you, obviously, walk the talk and actually win some games for RR. But on that note, we're wrapping up. Thank you, gents, as always. Really appreciate your time. And Amar, you want to do the honors?
Yeah, hit the bell icon.
Please subscribe, share your feedback. It's always welcome and it will help us improve as well. Thank you, gents. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night. Be wise.